Hey everyone, so here we are, my second video, and I'm really happy with how the first one came out, and I'm also incredibly grateful to everyone who watched it and took the time to comment upon it. However, I do have to acknowledge the fact that I'm very new at this, so I'm still finding my footing. And I need to just try and walk before I can run. So clearly the sensible thing for me to do is to today take on a film so confusing that it would have made more sense if it had been written in parcel tongue. With the success of both Trainspotting and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, British cinema turned a corner in the late 1990s. Plots became grittier, the humour darkened, and many filmmakers sought to emulate not only the success, but also the distinctive styles of those films' directors, Danny Boyle and Guy Ritchie. Today's film, Rancid Aluminium, is the magnum opus of director Edward Thomas. It owes a lot to Lock, Stock in particular. Both are crime capers set in London. They both feature larger-than-life characters using snappy dialogue. There are, of course, numerous differences. Guy Ritchie has an ear for Mockney slang. With Lock, Stock he had a well-constructed plot, and he used distinctive editing styles. Also, I think the makers of Rancid Aluminium were high on ketamine when they went into production.
You tell me just what the fuck's going on or I'm going home now!
The title doesn't actually give a lot away, so what is Rancid Aluminium actually about? Rhys Ifans plays Pete, who along with his overwrought Cockney accent, inherits his father's firm. His best friend and accountant, Deanie, played by Joseph Fiennes, discovers that the firm is in trouble with the Inland Revenue because of a history of tax evasion. He sets up a deal with the Russian mafia, headed by Steven Berkoff, to do business. Tara Fitzgerald smokes a lot, Joseph Fiennes pulls a double cross, and Rhys Ifans is left to fight not only for his life, but to save girlfriend Sadie Frost from acting lessons.
It still isn't the truth. I know it's not.
It is, in a way.
And that's it. Doesn't sound that bad, right? It's not the most original plot, but there's definitely a lot to work with there. Unfortunately, this is all window dressing for what's actually at the core of Rancid Aluminium. Semen. I'm not kidding. Frost and Ifans want to start a family, so they need money for their fertility treatment, which is being provided by fucking... it looks like the third Doctor.
Of course, but then...
Apparently a sonic screwdriver can do anything.
Live, loaded, and injectable, practically forever.
Fitzgerald plays Berkoff's daughter Masha, seen here pouring semen on herself as a part of a gangster ritual. I mean, Tara, you were in Brastoff, what the hell were you doing? Oh, and for added impact, here's Rhys Ifans whacking off in a public toilet. Do you know what this scene is actually about? This is where Ifans sets up his alibi so that he can go and confront Fiennes. He is masturbating while swapping clothes with a bike courier. How much must he be paying that guy to climb into his trousers? My favourite part of this film is definitely Joseph Fiennes. He's one of our finest actors, but here he affects one of the worst Irish accents I've ever heard.
Feel any wrong, we're being watched. Maybe listen to him, so we know we're in deep shite.
It sounds like he's being dubbed, but I don't think he is. But there's still something about it which makes it sound like an ADR Hatchet job. Begorra, this accent is shite. Oh, and in case you were wondering, here's Ifans explaining the title.
I had it all again, and it all tasted like nothing. Like less than nothing. Rancid Aluminium.
What the fuck?
Rancid Aluminium is without a doubt one of the most schizophrenic films I've ever sat through. And I sat through Manos: The Hands of Fate. What's incredible is that Thomas was able to take a relatively simple plot and force it across an event horizon into a bizarre narrative singularity where it's impossible for anything to make sense. The screenplay was adapted by author James Hawes from his own novel. Now, I don't know if the book makes any more sense, but if you are curious, you can pick it up on Amazon for 1p. In its defence, I will say that as bewildering, facile and pretentious as Rancid Aluminium is, it's not a difficult sit. It's too bizarre and too idiotic to stay mad at. But regardless, it has more than earned its place on lists of the worst British films of all time, sharing space with other late 90s disaster pieces like Dead Babies and Michael Winner's Parting Shots. I just set myself up to review those, didn't I?
Well, you didn't stop when I told you to stop. And there was a month when I wasn't sure if the next time I saw you out on the road I'd have something.
Aim for his balls.